You're listening to Quincast, where we have chats about audio erotica and empowerment through desire.
And we take you behind the scenes with the pros shaping the industry.
Settle in. Things are about to get spicy and uncensored.
As always, big love to our sponsor, Betty, of whatbettymade.com.
She makes amazing stickers. And yes, there's a whole Quincast collection made just for you.
Cute, chaotic, and dangerously easy to justify buying. Check her out at whatbettymade.com. Hello, you beautiful girls.
You're always so kind to us at the beginning of episodes, and then it goes downhill from there.
Well, I was going to start with "Welcome to the movies," but I thought that might give to the stars. I was going to come in with that, but I thought it would give away the actual premise of the show too early, and I don't like coming too early.
I know. I hope no one looked at any of the promos, so they completely come in blind.
Right, didn't look at the title of the episode before clicking play. Surprise!
Yes. No, now I think about it, embarrassingly, you're absolutely right, but yeah.
It's like we're always like, who are we talking to today?
I know. We have no idea. This is first-hand information right now.
Oh, wait, no, we've been promoting it for days. Oh, God. Anyway.
So,
part of it.
Anyway, so welcome to the movies. Fuck you.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about today?
I'm so excited. I'm really excited about this episode. I don't know if you can tell I'm bouncing out of my chair right here.
Yeah.
But so today we're going to be talking about spicy scenes in TV, movies, talking about what hits, what doesn't, the reasons why, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We were asked to go away and have a think about the subject matter and look into it in a little bit more detail. I was thinking, who's hot, whose arse looks good. But apparently, Kaza had other ideas. She wanted us to philosophically look at stuff.
Sorry, Cliticins, I'm thinking about the takeaway. Because I do this podcast for our listeners.
No, I've said I feel called out before. This time, I actually do.
I kid.
Okay.
It is April Fool's Day. So
yes, it is.
I kid. I kid. But really,
it is.
I don't kid that I think about you, Cliticins. So I did ask them to go a little bit deeper. Phrasing, I know, on this topic, because there's some good information about women's empowerment and where we can, where the industry can do better. What works and what doesn't.
Absolutely. And I actually found as I looked into it a bit more with your brief,
you're welcome.
That I did find out a lot more things about one of my favourite sexual movies than I thought I did. Ooh. But I'm not going to. No spoilers. That'll be later.
Why else are we excited, Smudgy?
Yeah.
Before we get into this topic.
Oh my God. Well, it was my birthday back in February. So, for a very belated birthday present, we decided that we were going to do and bring back Dirty Dictionary Corner.
Woo!
Yes, I'm so happy this is
And
back.
what word are we doing for you, Smudgy?
Cunt! It was literally no build up to that. Yeah. It was just, I was very it was vocal, it was throaty. I felt the throaty cunt then.
Throaty cunt, okay, yeah.
Throaty cunt. Wow, I mean, God, today must just feel like your birthday anyway, because we're doing this for you.
Oh,
happy birthday, cunt.
Thank you.
Cunt.
Thank you.
I have another birthday gift for you, even though it's not your birthday at all. It's April 1st. This is the first month with our featured contributor, Peaches!
Yes!
Peaches.
Peaches, 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 I love you!
This is the first installment of Peachin It Real. Each month on our main episode, Peaches will be joining us as our featured contributor with a segment where he's going to give his take on any number of topics. It's his choosing. Might be pet peeves, pop culture, hot topics in the AE space, anything at all. We are at Peach's mercy. Whatever the topic is, we know he's going to be Peachin' It Real. And we are honored and thrilled that he has joined the Quincast team.
Can't wait.
Genuinely, when we went out to him on this, I was so excited.
I mean, he did beg us for a long time.
I know.
Please,
He
can
did.
you find any reason to continue to have me back on? And we were like,
No, we had to like tell him to relax a few times. I mean, God.
And I think
Like-
we were going to name the segment title Pathetic Peaches, but we thought better of it.
not true, Peaches. It's not true.
No, it's totally April Fool's.
No.
April Fools!
And having seen some of his stuff and some of his videos and socials and even before the Quinn,
Peaches Teaches on his
Peaches
YouTube
Teaches
channel.
on his
So
YouTube
good.
channel. Very good, you know.
Real.
Very
Can't
exciting.
wait.
Very exciting.
All right.
So, but before we get to the lovely Peaches, where are we starting today?
We are starting with spicy scenes in movies. I'm going to say and TV because I, of course, always being different, had to go off track a little bit. And so I thought we would start with some scene in whatever your chosen medium is that really did something for you, that really hit for you. And we could talk about why it hit for you, and because I think this conversation could go to a lot of interesting places.
Yeah.
So who would like to begin?
Me, Jules would like to begin.
Okay, go on, Jules.
Yeah.
Go, Jules, go.
First of all, from here on out, spoilers with whatever movies and TV shows we mention if you enjoy these kind of scenes.
Sauce.
'cause-
Absolutely.
Yeah, so spicy, sexy spoilers.
Oh, nice.
All right, so I wanted to talk about a scene in a movie that came out in 2024, and it is a movie called Baby Girl.
Oh.
Yes, and I actually got to see this movie with Kaza
Yay!
in person
know.
last year.
So fun.
And it's really good. So it stars Nicole Kidman, and she is a powerful CEO, and she starts having a unbelievably hot affair with a much younger male intern. And so the film did really, really well. And I really liked the way they talked about power dynamics and like boundary crossing. I just thought they did it in a really smart, kind of different way than I'm used to. So this particular scene, I'm getting all hot and bothered thinking about it, is there's a scene where they're both in a hotel room together. And his name is Samuel in it. So Samuel asks Maggie to kneel and makes her crawl to him, eat a piece of candy out of his hand, and then spit it back out in his hand. Then after that, he puts her on the floor, like facing away from her, and fingers her like on the floor. And then they fuck while father figure plays. I love the scene because it's what I'm used to seeing in movies is if there's kind of like the dom sub power dynamic things, it's always immediately super hot and everything's perfect. And what I loved about this is it wasn't that. So it starts kind of awkward. So it almost makes it a little bit real. They've both never done this before. And, you know, they laugh a little bit when he's like, get on your knees. And she's like, no. And he's like, will you just do it? Come on. Like, I'm trying something here, you know? And so it wasn't this like immediate sexy scene. They had to get used to it first. And I really, really loved that about it. And they were unsure of it. But then once they really got into it, and like she kind of just let go because she's this big CEO. So she has the power everywhere else. And she doesn't want it in the bedroom anymore. And so I don't know what it was, but just seeing her finally just be like, I'm going to crawl to this guy, eat candy out of his hand and spit it back out. Like it really did something for me. I couldn't believe it.
That was a spicy scene. I do remember that scene.
No, yeah.
And you're right, Jules. I think a large part of it was like, it didn't feel perfect.
Yes.
You know, so it just was, so you could connect with the scene more versus like
Exactly.
watching it. You were like, I'm
Yeah.
experiencing it with them. And that's a good scene.
It was also just different because again, I'm used to that kind of power dynamic being an older male with a younger female.
Yes.
And this kind of turned it on its head.
Yeah.
And it was it was amazing to see, you know, Nicole Kidman, gorgeous woman, like mid 50s, and this 20-year-old is like 25-year-old is just like this woman. Like fuck yeah, she's so fucking hot. And they kind of have to figure out it all together, and I just really thought it was done in such a well done way. And I mean, again, I know we've already said spoilers, but it also, the movie and what happens between them, it gives her the confidence. Again, I'm not saying having affairs or anything is, okay or anything like that, but she ends up being able to go back to her husband and be like, listen, this is what I need.
This ain't working for me.
This is not working for me. And so instead of just keeping it all bottled up and everything, like getting herself off in the other room afterwards, she is able to kind of take that type of control back and be like, hey, this is what I need, hubby.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
My scene, I went to a TV show called Nobody Wants This. 2 seasons. It started in 2024. And it is the kiss in season 1. Is the scene that is so... I feel like this is one of those scenes that are so impactful for exactly what we're talking about here. Like, not how Hollywood wants to tell you something sexy, but something that actually is. So it's this iconic scene. So it's Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. It occurs at the end of their night after they initially decided, because they were like, do we want to date? Don't we want to date? And so they decided to just be friends. It's like, you know what? We're better off as friends. Let's do that. And so as they were saying goodbye at the end of the night, Kristen Bell's character was like, oh, it's a shame that like we didn't even ever kiss or something. And he said, I know. And she's like, should we maybe have like just one kiss as a goodbye to any possibility of that, and so that we can stay friends? And so he was like, yeah, maybe. So they're on a busy street. They had just gotten ice cream. She's standing there with the cup of ice cream. And he's like, put your ice cream down. And so she puts her ice cream down. And there's this anticipation, and there's this long pause where you're like, what's going to happen? And he like gently puts his hand on the side of her face, and he's rubbing his thumb on her cheek. And then he goes in for a very sweet but passionate kiss. And she just like, her bag drops off her shoulder. She's up on her toes. And there's just this like, it caught me off guard because it's not even a sex scene. It's just a kiss, but it did something. There's the tension leading up to it. You kind of feel this question of like, are they going to? No, they're not. Are they going to? I'm not really sure. So there's that little micro pause before it happens when they're kind of reading each other. And you really feel like you're watching it, but you're also experiencing it with them, which I think is like the hottest part. So it's that moment when they're both checking, are we going to do this? That is like the really hot part. No one's performing. It's not like this, no one's overpowering. Both of them are there like, are we? Aren't we? So it's super like responsive. It didn't feel like someone was going in for the kiss. It felt like they both kind of arrived at the same time, which was so cool.
Yeah.
So it was the tension that was hot. It was the mutual, like, they both kind of went in for it. And even though it was such a busy, crowded street, it's like they were the only 2 people on the planet. And it was just so like not manufactured. Hollywood is just like, it's just so manufactured. Like, people are in positions that are not normal or natural or even comfortable. Yes. So it felt like we almost shouldn't be watching because it was such a private moment, which just made it hotter for me. So it's just like...
It was like super intimate feeling.
Super intimate,
Yes, I bet.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've watched that scene. I haven't actually seen the show yet, but I've seen that scene.
Such a good show.
So many times. And I don't know what it is, but when he says put down the ice cream, I was like riveted.
Yes.
Like from him saying, I was like... Oh my God.
Because again, like sweet little dynamic, and then very tiny, tiny, tiny Dom of like, put down your ice cream.
Yes.
But it was just kind of like a...
The subtlety, though. The subtlety is the heat.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, if it had turned into like a full-blown sex scene, it would have ruined the moment. It would have ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. It was just, it was so good.
Oh my God. That's
so yes,
so
you can
hot.
go on YouTube and just look for season 1, Nobody Wants This, kiss, and believe me, there'll be a million clips.
There's so many, and it's funny. I saw Kristen Bell on a podcast episode, and she was on there with her husband Dax Shepard, and Dax was talking, and he was like, "She doesn't kiss me like that."
I remember, I heard that.
Yeah, like literally, he's like, "I'm not upset about it, but she doesn't kiss me like that."
It was so hot.
She wouldn't even put her ice cream down for me.
Yeah. It was so hot.
Oh my God.
What do you got, Smudgy?
So I kind of went a bit wayward off track. I went for the 2003 movie starring Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton called Something's Gotta Give.
Yes,
I love that movie so much.
I love that
is
movie.
One of my favourite movies of all time. Diane Keaton, God rest her soul.
Rest in peace.
Just sublimely incredible at acting.
Yeah.
So amazing.
So I chose this because I just felt when I watched it, it had everything. It had Diane Keaton with a younger man and all of her worries and concerns about just kissing a younger man and what that implication may mean to other people, of what she's learned over the years, but also the hotness between her and Jack Nicholson, between romantic beach getting wet after a picnic, you know, culminating in them, you know, starting to have foreplay and him just having a heart attack and her, you know, giving his blood pressure a check mid-coitus. It felt so real that it was hot. And what hit me was, do you know what? My body and mind is not going to stop being turned on by things when I'm in my 60s or my 70s.
Yeah.
And if Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton can do it, so can I, and it's okay. And that was so hot for me.
God.
And it didn't feel like seeing two older people, because you know sometimes when you see two older people kissing and it's like, oh God, really?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You know? It genuinely didn't. I first watched it back in 2003 when it came out, so that was what, 23 years ago?
Yeah.
So I was 30 whatever, 30 no, yeah, 30. 33. But it was very surprising to me how hot the romantic sex was between the two of them, and surprised me as well because there was no dominance in it or BDSM, so you know, what the fuck. But yeah, it was, if you haven't watched it, it's such a poignant moment for two grown adults who are in their retirement years, who realise that they still can fancy and they still can have sex. That's the hottest thing for me.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's so good. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, there's like this theme between all of us, right? It's the realness of the scene.
Yes.
And not the manufactured of it. It's not like, because I think it's those ones, Smudge, when older people are kissing and you're kind of like, ugh. It's because it's designed and set up in the very Hollywood way where everyone's perfect and everyone's young and it's just like the phony setting is there, but then the people don't fit the phony setting. But this movie was, so real.
There were all the wrong angles.
Yeah.
But for all the right reasons. There was nothing non-reality about it. You don't actually see one single sex scene. You don't see them having sex. There's no sexual... you see them at the end, and she says, after the first time that they have sex together, you see her, laying on the bed going, oh my God, I do like sex. Because she was in a sexless marriage, and then she'd been divorced for years and ploughed all of herself into her daughter. So it's
and
incredible.
it just speaks to, like, in the world, like, women of that age aren't sexual beings anymore.
Exactly.
So she was probably like, oh my God, I do like sex. I can still like sex in my 60s or 70s or whatever.
Exactly. And Jack Nicholson, we'll come on to it later in our different takes of things, but Jack Nicholson is portrayed from the outset as being a stud. In his... I think he's supposed to be 68, 70 or whatever. He was supposed to be quite old. But he is a stud who dates all the younger girls and has sex with all the younger girls. He's promiscuous. He's never been married, And all of a sudden, you've got Diane Keaton, who's basically portrayed as a spinster with no sex drive, no desire, so opposite. And then all of a sudden, they just come together. Excuse the pun.
That's hot.
And it's beautiful.
That's so good.
That's so hot. You know that reminds me of, and you're so right, talking about how it's always like the older man is, oh yeah, he's got that.
He still has it.
He's got that. He still has that. Is like, I can't remember the name of it, but there's a movie with Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin where they were like divorced, but they're still
love it too.
I can't handle it. I can't think of the name of it.
It's complicated.
And I remember when that came, like the promos for that. And I remember people talking about like how good Alec Baldwin looked and how amazing. And like Meryl Streep was fucking incredible in that. But I remember that the praise wasn't there for her. And it was like, oh, maybe she should be doing like more Devil's Wear Prada type roles, or, is this role for
double standard?
What the fuck?
Did somebody ask if this role was fit for Meryl,
Right?
Yeah.
the Queen?
Jesus, yes.
The woman who wins 12 Oscars a day. Yes.
Oh, so this kind of brings us into the next thing we want to chat about, which is like, what's out there that we're told, like, this is really hot, and we just go, no, it's not. What? Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to bring it back for a second to like the perfect type sex scene thing, because I feel like that, like, let me tell you, the day a queef ends up in something, I'll be a happy girl.
Yeah.
I'll be a happy girl one day.
I don't know where we're going to find a sound effect for that, but go on.
Jules will just have to record it from her vagina.
Oh, is this thing on? Hello.
Starring Jules Cooch.
Welcome to Queefcast.
We crack ourselves up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But anyway, so just that we were all, at least growing up watching movies, I couldn't even watch movies that had sex in it, but you know, you sneak around, you figure it out.
Yeah.
But they were always so stylized, so perfect. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey, like all of those scenes are like shown like they are these, like, this is exactly how it's going to be in these perfect positions with this and that. And that's just not how, that's
like
not the reality.
morning
of sex.
breath.
It's not the reality.
You know, people wanting to have a shower before because you've been dancing in a nightclub for 7 hours and you've going home with a guy, and the last thing you want to be doing sometimes is not having a shower. There's and the dialogue as well, it's so scripted. How many times have you had sex with somebody and you've had all of that dialogue? Fuck off.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they have to like enhance some things for but it's like, come on. And it's funny, Jules, because 50 Shades is exactly what I put down to talk about in this next segment of like what, like, we were told, like, this is going to be hot. I mean, everyone loved the book back in the day, despite the writing.
Yes.
Just like people who weren't really in touch with their spicy side, that book gave them permission to. And then turning it into the movie, it's exactly what it was. The whole movie felt choreographed, not experienced at all. It was just so like every single movement felt placed, you know, versus like in it, every single beat felt pre-planned. Nothing was spontaneous in that.
Nothing.
Or even reactive. It was just so scripted.
Yeah.
That's
It was so, she was so under a spotlight. So every facial expression, was perfect lighting, perfect side. There wasn't anything real, and I hate to say it because I feel like always bang on about fucking BDSM and that world. It probably opened a lot of people up to different sides of them without question, but it was teaching them the wrong things if you were going to enter into a BDSM dynamic. But I get exactly what you say, Keza. It was exactly that. There was nothing. It all looked scripted, felt
so
scripted,
performative.
so performative. So, you know, I love Jamie Dornan. I love him.
Oh,
but
same.
and you know, I just didn't feel like he was anything other than playing a role of acts that he's never partook in.
That he looked very uncomfortable in.
So uncomfortable.
You could tell he was acting. When you can tell actors are acting, you're like, it takes you completely out of it.
Because like any kind of build-up that was supposed to be in it fell totally flat. Totally flat. There was no sitting in anticipation. Maybe for like, I think I was sitting in anticipation of sitting in anticipation. But then it didn't. I was like, oh my God, this is when it's good. Nope. Like it was just like. So it jumps to like, this is sexy without ever earning it. There's no runway.
There's no.
Yeah. Do you know one of the best scenes in 50 Shades? And I'm not going to knock it. I've watched it 6 or 7 times. It's fine. That the first scene where she goes to his office. That tension between a dom and a potential sub. When you meet somebody and you know they're dommy, although she didn't necessarily, but that was real life tension. When you're in an office with somebody, they're very dominant, you're very mousy and submissive.
Yeah, because I think it was in that scene, Smudge, where they actually seemed to feel turned on by each other.
Yes.
Where the other scenes they didn't.
Yeah.
They
So
didn't, because they were
true.
just going through motions. Like,
You know what's funny too is there's actually one other scene in that movie that I think is fucking brilliant in a sexual way.
yeah.
But I remember it was the one time people watching it. I'm not saying a lot of men watched it, but like I made my husband watch it back in the day, you know. And I remember something people didn't love is there's one scene where they're getting naked and you can see that she has hair on her legs.
Really?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
and-
the bit on the like the piano bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like taking her underwear down and you can see she has hair on her legs. And I remember people being like, oh, you can see that she has hair on her legs. Like that. I remember that's what people took out of that scene where like, that's the most realist part of that movie, you know? And again, it did help some people, like you said, Smudgy, like realize some things about themselves, you know?
Oh my God, yeah.
I
Definitely.
completely agree with that. You know, it's just,
It was so successful in that regard. I mean, I had people in my life who I would have never considered like sexual type people
Yeah.
tell me that they're like, oh my God, I just read this book. And I was like, you did? So it did
Yeah.
a lot of good for a lot of people.
Yeah, the famous thing in the UK was they did a thing on the tube where they were looking at the commuters and all the women had the 50 Shades of Grey books.
Oh,
yes.
But you know, that was probably the biggest and the best outcome of that movie was that women were going into public going, I'm reading this.
yeah.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm not
No
shy.
apologies.
No apologies needed. The movie
Yep.
was pretty shit. It
Yep.
didn't really cover what a BDSM relationship actually is. It opened doors for people to investigate and their own
Yeah.
sexuality and what their own desires were, as well as going to find some better movies that portray BDSM better.
What do you guys have?
So I had 50 Shades.
Oh, did you?
Well, it was going to be my main one, but
Yep.
then after having a think about what's important to me now at my age and stage in life, Something's Got to Give was way better.
Yeah.
So when you've talked about it, you've discussed everything that I wanted to in regards
Yeah,
to
just so
50
flat.
Shades.
Just flat. Do you guys know that? I don't think I've ever told you this, but when I was reading the first 50 Shades of Grey, I was sitting on a beach reading it.
Yeah.
And with one of my friends, we were both reading at the same time. And I shit you not, literally, a seagull came over and shit, and it went onto the page of my book. I mean, is that a sign or what?
The writing is shit. But guess what? So's the movie going to be.
Get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
I will never. I'm like,
Funny.
yeah.
What did you have, Jules?
Like-
Did you find a scene in something that you were like, this is supposed to be really hot, but it didn't do it for me?
Mine was also the 50 Shades of Grey one.
Okay.
But I did want to bring up a movie that I recently watched that has a sex scene in it that I can't figure out if it was meant to be sexy or if you're supposed to fucking laugh at it because
Oh.
I howled, guys. I howled. I'm not even joking. It is a movie with Sebastian Stan. If you don't know who he is, he was the Winter Soldier. That's what he's most known for. And he is in this movie called Bronze.
Okay.
And he plays a gymnast who is going to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets together with, I can't remember if he's the coach or if he's just one of them. But he has this sex scene with another gymnast. And the entire sex scene is them doing gymnastic moves into sex scenes. Guys,
Come on.
I've never. I'm telling you right
It's
now,
gotta be
I'm
a
putting
joke,
a link to
surely.
it somewhere in the show notes
Yeah.
because everyone needs to see this scene. I think they build it as sexy.
Really?
It is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Literally, they're doing like double hand flips into each other's arms and end up fucking against a window. Or
Oh, that's
like
got to
doing,
be satirical.
Oh my
surely.
God.
It's so bad.
guys, it was it was
Yeah.
like the funniest thing. But again, it was funny though because that's not reality. Like you are not doing that. You're not doing these, even if you're a gymnast, like, hey, you know what? You can put your legs behind your head like no one else, man.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen.
It does. That's what it feels like. It's like, it feels like how we're talking about, like, it looks so performative and it's like so like choreographed. It's like these performances, I mean, clearly they work, right? Because movies sell, whatever. The performances are created for someone. It's just not
Right.
women.
Do you think after the 50 Shades series, I mean, just say the first one because the other three didn't exist really, but do you think after then that film producers, TV, whatever, decided that they needed to branch out a bit? Have we seen any change from
things are just so male gazy. And again, I know certain things. Like, I mean, if I'm watching a movie and the director is filming from a super low angle and it's behind a woman and all you see is her butt, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to, like, what are you doing? Why are you putting this in here?
Mm-hmm.
And it takes you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of it. And so that's when I see things like that is when I'm like, okay, who is this for?
Yeah.
Like, it's not for me.
Nope.
What about the Titanic sex scene?
Jesus,
A lot of people don't even remember there was a sex scene in Titanic, but there was. But
oh my God, the one in the car.
In the car,
and
with
the hand up
with
against the window.
Steam
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah.
That's hot.
It's so
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Why? Because Kate Winslet is a curvy, natural woman who's and they're just fucking because that's what they have. That's real.
Yeah.
It's
that
real.
felt
Yep.
real.
Which is what makes it hot. Feels real.
Yeah. So they can achieve it.
Yeah, it's true. And there's, okay, have you guys ever heard of the Bechdel test?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the Bechdel test is like a huge thing in the film industry, where the Bechdel test is when you have a movie and you have to have at least two women, and the two women have to have at least one conversation not about a man. So it's called the Bechdel test.
Huh.
Do you know how many fucking movies fail that test?
Really?
So, like, I'm not kidding. So many. Even like Lord of the Rings, the first Lord of the Rings doesn't pass the Bechdel test. Like the Avengers movie, some of the Star Wars movies. So a lot of times, and that's why people are more aware of it now, because a lot of times when they were making movies, women were just to be looked at and admired.
They were accessories in the
desired.
scene.
Exactly. Yeah. Accessories. That's the word.
Yep.
And so the only time they would really have any on-screen conversations with each other is when they were talking about men.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So that's something that I've noticed lately, meaning like the last like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to, in the movie industry, make sure that your film passes the Bechdel test. Like, you don't have to always be talking about a dude with your female friends.
God, that's so funny. Could you say that now when I'm like just picturing scenes in movies?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're right. When are two women ever just talking
Exactly.
about anything?
Right?
It's all
about
about the male gaze. Yeah.
What was the first, if I'm curious, what was the first sort of sex scene that you guys watched in a movie or TV?
Oh, that's a great question.
Gosh.
I think mine was the Titanic sex scene, actually, because I wasn't allowed to watch Titanic growing up. So I didn't get to see it till I was 17, even though it was only PG-13. Hey, Mom. But I remember, and I think that's why I reacted this way when Titanic got brought up, is I remember in that scene where she is the one, Rose is the one, when they're in the car and she goes, "Put your hands on me, Jack," and takes his hands and puts them on her breasts. And I remember being like, oh my God, she fucking did that. That's the hottest thing I've ever seen. Like, she is the one. I think that's the first one. And that's not even an explicit sex scene either, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think growing up for me, it was, well, first of all, it's like, when you're watching movies with your family and a sex scene comes on, it's like you either leave the room or you bury your head, or like, oh my God, I didn't know this was happening in here.
Yeah, you
but
always
like,
need the bathroom at that point.
Yeah, like I have to pee again.
Yeah, exactly.
But any of the movies that I think of from when I was younger, like I'm talking like grade school or junior high or even high school, they were all so fucking all about the men.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So the sex scenes, there was nothing. I don't remember a lot of like romantic sex scenes. It was just like these college guys, like how many body counts, can they do for the body count? It was
mine was Porky's.
God.
Porky's.
Porky's.
Yeah.
That actually came to my mind.
That was
Porky's.
my very first. I was probably 13, something like that, and I saw Porky's, and I was like, "What?
Is there a glory hole in Porky's?"
Yeah.
Yes, in the showers.
I'm pretty sure that's how I learned about it.
It's not a glory hole. It's they remove the shower, tap in the female showers to look through. But it's technically a glory hole, but not in a toilet.
I think that's how I learned about that. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Porky's.
Do you know what I learned from that? Embarrassingly, I learned, apparently all women howl. Because there's the scene, isn't it, where they call her Lassie.
Oh.
Because when you get her up to the boys' changing, like the locker room or whatever it is upstairs where they keep all the jock straps and everything, she gets really turned on and then she starts howling in the mid-sex. And I learnt from that, that's what makes women sexy.
Oh my God.
Is howling during sex. So
no.
when I was 16,
Oh my God. I'm so excited for this.
When I was 16 and I was stopping around my boyfriend's house at the time, so I was very vocal. And then the next night, because we were stopping over there for the weekend, his parents, the next night, she called him back as we were walking to go to bed, and she said, could you please tell Smudge maybe not to be so loud tonight?
We thought there was a wolf outside.
Oh my God.
But I genuinely thought that you howled,
Yeah.
that, you know, and that's where I learnt the word cunt as well, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a famous scene in it where they ask to call out at one of these drive-through restaurants, is Mike Hunt
That's
here?
right. Mike Hunt? Is Mike Hunt here?
Mike Hunt, yeah,
right.
yeah. And I was like, oh, well, that's okay then. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was really surprised when American people said that they didn't like it or didn't use it. And I was like, Porky's was an American movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It was all about the boys, how many girls they could
Just
sleep
getting off.
with.
Yep.
Just, yeah, that was it.
Yep. Yeah, the women were just holes.
Yeah. Holes and tits. Tits.
Holes and tits.
Yeah.
That's it.
Holes in tits. You know what? That made me think it's actually a TV show, because I think Titanic was the first movie, but there used to be a TV show on MTV called Undressed. Oh my God. I used to think it was the hottest thing at like 12. Oh my God. But exactly like you guys said, it was just a TV show, but it was just a bunch of like, you know, horny young adults, you know, like,
Yep.
you know, per usual. It was really
Yeah.
scandalous at the time. But I remember it was like every single episode was like, all right, dude, who are we going to fuck tonight? Like,
Yeah.
or every single episode. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder who it will be, but like not in like a grossed out way. I was like, oh my God,
Right.
who gets the honor?
Yeah, who's the lucky girl
Yes.
who gets chosen
Ugh.
to be the hole in tits? Yeah.
So it,
I know.
It went from teenage boys to grown-ass men because it's still happening.
Yep.
Yes.
There's still groups of guys in movies and TV that go out and all it is about their pleasure, their sex, their everything.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
What fucking brilliant movie.
Brilliant.
Love it.
But there's a scene in that movie where they're about to like hook up for the first time, and it's shot from like outside their window. And she's trying, like, you can kind of tell she's like wanting to kiss him, and she ends up jumping on him. But
Yeah.
the way she jumps on him, it's not like the stylized legs wrapped around perfect. She like kind of misses.
It's clumsy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
clumsy. And it is the hottest thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
Like they have so much tension, and like they don't give a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck if she doesn't jump on him perfectly.
Right.
Sex sells, apparently, but
Yes.
Hollywood need to make better sex.
Yeah. Tension cells and anticipation cells and like desire and longing. That's the shit that sells. Sex is just like, oh yeah, that had happened. You know?
The only time I've ever thought like a drawn out, rip your clothes off as you go to the bedroom has ever seemed legit was in the Notebook. You ever see The Notebook?
I have not.
The Notebook. Yeah.
Oh my God, movie night. And but the reason is because it still has to do with that tension. They weren't just on a first date and they're like, bam. It's because they were in love and then hadn't seen each other in 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like, fucking finally.
That makes
like,
sense.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, like that's believable.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing. I am noticing though that they're starting to add in little things like with reality, like the movie Sinners that just came out. There's just this part in this movie Sinners where they've been Smudgy. It's like what you were talking about. They've been dancing all night. They go outside to like this back alley, and he wants to go down on her, and she's like, "I've been dancing all night, dude.
Yeah.
No." And then he's like, "I don't give a fuck." But the fact that she
Yeah.
even mentioned it,
Yes.
I was.
But how hot is that
floored.
then that he then still does, because she was fine with saying it and he's fine with doing it? That's great.
Even hotter.
Even hotter.
I can't believe I just thought of it. It was so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then he's like, "I don't care. Like, give me it."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
So much hotter. Yeah.
Really
I
good
have so many
stuff.
things I want to watch and listen to.
I know.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the house for a week.
Right?
Before we head over to Dirty Dictionary Corner, it's time to take a juicy fruit break.
In a world of questions, chaos, and queefs, one man dares to answer the questions nobody asked, but everyone's thinking.
Coming now from the Quincast Studios, the premiere episode of Peachin It Real with Peaches. Rated R for
Peachin' It Real, where every topic gets revealed. Pet peeves, hot takes, thoughts thoughts combined, opinions served up every time.
Peachin' It Real with Peaches.
You know, I never thought I would ever have my own theme tune. So thank you, Kazza, Jules and Smudge, for giving me a theme tune. That it's just fantastic. But I warn you, do not listen to it on loop because it will stay in your brain forever. It has been in mine for the last week or two since I first heard it. So on we go. What am I doing here? I'm going to be speaking once a month on the Quincast podcast, waxing lyrical about anything and everything. There's going to be a particular topic, and hopefully it won't get too chaotic. But also it might be quite fun if it gets a bit chaotic. It is just me talking to a wall. So anything can happen. And in this segment of Peachin' It Real, I want to talk about the phenomenon of heated rivalry and the effects of it on male-male audios, which has been astounding and so wonderful to see. It really has. I was a little bit late to watching Heated Rivalry as well. I had so many scriptwriters, VAs, subscribers all telling me to watch it. And if anyone's like me, whenever someone urges me to watch something so much, it just makes me not want to watch it, which is why it took me a while to get around to it. And also I needed a Now TV subscription. And I've already got about 10 different ones. Anyway, so I watched it. I loved it. There were some parts of it I didn't love, in all honesty. And I did tell a few people about that, and they said, do not tell anyone that you didn't like some of it because they will bite your head off. But I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to suffer the consequences. So the episodes I loved were 3 because of Scott and Kit, obviously, 5 and 6. But the real reason I loved those ones is because they felt really authentic. And I'm not saying that parts of 1, 2 and 4 didn't feel authentic, but I think a lot of it felt a little bit more forced, and some of the dialogue didn't feel as realistic to me. I think it was all down to the dialogue. The physical connection that they had on screen was so good. So good. The sex scenes were intimate, but they were also passionate and heated. Heated rivalry. But it was the dialogue that really stunted that for me. And it was one word in particular that Hollander kept on saying, which stopped me from believing that it was a real situation. And that was when he kept on calling him an arsehole. And I know people love that word, right? I know people love it, but it also didn't feel authentic to me that someone would keep on saying it, even though this relationship is chipping away and becoming softer and softer and softer. But then again, that could just be the English teacher or writer in me being a little bit too particular. And perhaps people would talk to each other like that, and maybe I just haven't experienced it that way. But the way that this inspired me and has inspired so many more people to put this kind of relationship into audio a lot more recently has been wonderful. And I think it was so underappreciated before this. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but I think the amount of or M4M audios which have come out because of this has been fantastic. And the most interesting thing for me, I didn't expect Quinn to make an no listener interaction audio. I really wasn't expecting that. But it does kind of make sense because that's what Heated Rivalry was. You were just watching it. You weren't a part of it. You were just, they didn't break the fourth wall. You were a watcher. You weren't a part of that scene. So it makes sense for Ember and Ice to be that kind of audio. What I really, really want to see in future is them opening that up to Quinn creators as well. I'm not sure if it will happen. And M4M, listener interaction is always going to be at the forefront of that. And I think that it should be, because we're looking for that kind of intimate connection in these audios. But we as an audience have been watching things and feeling that intimacy, even though that fourth wall hasn't been broken before. Films that made me cry. 13 going on 30. One of the only films that has ever made me cry, right? They don't break the fourth wall. I feel that kind of deep empathy for someone who wants someone so much, but they can't have them. And I felt that. And I didn't need Jennifer Garner to reach through the screen and tell me I'm a good boy, even though that would have been lovely. So what I'm kind of hoping to see is an evolution of audio erotica being inspired by things like this, and more people making FF, NBNB, like any kind of fly on the wall situation for their audios, because not only, I think, will it make it more accessible, because sometimes people don't want that really deep intimacy. If anyone's like me, sometimes I listen to an audio, whether it be M for A, M for M, F for M, and it's very intense, incredibly intense. And sometimes you're just not in the mood for that. It's just like if I were needing comfort, I wouldn't go and listen to something quite severe, like high impact, degradation, that kind of audio. I would go and listen to some ASMR, mindfulness. I'd open the Calm app if I still had it. So perhaps these fly on the wall, FF, etc. audios could be filling that little gap that we need. So it's not intense, it's not too soft like ASMR and mindfulness audios, but it's right in the middle. So we're still getting that little drip feed of naughtiness that we really want, but it's also quite calm and we're not involved. And perhaps if you've never tried M for M audios, because let's say you're a straight woman and you thought, oh, this audio is not going to be for me, this is for a man. If you haven't tried it, perhaps these fly on the wall audios might open you up to trying M for M, because even though you're not the target gender for that audio, there still could be a lot in there that you would enjoy. So I really think that this kind of audio could pave the way for a lot of change. And I know that it's not new, it's just something that has become the mainstream. And perhaps that'll open things up a lot more. I really hope so anyway, and I will be making a lot of them in future. Right, that's all the time I have today. So I will see you very, very soon for another hot topic. Back to you, Kazza, Jules, and Smudge. And thank you so much for listening to my little segment.
All right. That was our first installment of Peachin It Real.
Oh my God.
So amazing.
Yeah. Not going to get, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to get out of my head that fucking jingle, which is
so
amazing.
good.
Peachin It Real. Every topic gets revealed. Oh, Peaches, we love you. Welcome to the team, Peaches.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. You can find Peaches on Instagram, TikTok, OnlyFans. He's a voice actor on the cUn't app and has a busy and active Patreon and Discord community. You'll find all his links in the show notes. That was great. I'm excited to hear what he has next for us, Cliticins. If there's any topic, Cliticins, you would love to hear Peaches wax on about, let us know.
Glad you said wax.
Very nice.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
Email us, quintcastpodcast@gmail.com. I almost said gspot.com.
That's a new one.
Because we were just talking about apparently not all women have G-spots, but that's for another topic.
Yeah.
But because...
Stay tuned.
I know. But the G-spot is part of the cUn't, so that's kind of perfect.
What an amazing segue that was.
Thank you.
Kazza, that was...
So professional. It's hardly an edit going to be happening on that.
You're welcome. Editors.
But it is a gigantic segue into our next topic, which is only our third ever
Dirty Dictionary
Corner. It's only our third? Oh my gosh.
I know, we've only done fucking slut.
I heard fucking slut.
But I heard too. We've only done fucking slut.
Right? We've only done slut and
We've
fuck.
only done fuck and slut.
And now, let's talk about cUn't, baby.
How's my sound coming through?
It's great.
Yeah, you sound great.
I don't know.
Really good.
Say the word cunt and we'll see.
Cunt.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
Shut up, you cunt!
Wrap your thighs around my head and let me bury my face in that cunt. Please refrain from using the term thunder cunt.
Tongue inside your cunt.
He said, you call me a cunt.
Such a needy cunt, isn't she?
Am I allowed to say?
Thank you so much for chatting and stopping by.
It's the best one.
Congratulations. Look forward.
You are a cunt, motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from head to toe you're a big fat stinking cunt.
Smudgy, are you excited to talk about this particular word?
It was top of the list to do on Dirty Dictionary Corner, and I don't know why we chose fuck first, and then we went to slut.
We had to ease the cliticins in.
Now, what you did was you edged me.
Oh, worst. God.
You did. Yeah, worst ever. We're never doing the word edge, by the way. Never happening. But yeah, we're doing the word cunt, and I have... I mean, obviously, it's my word of choice. I think most cliticins or anybody that knows me in real life knows that it is my go-to curse word. It's my go-to word of affection. And it is the word I like my dominant to use for my lady parts.
What a versatile word.
So versatile. Oh my God. So many synonyms, apparently, with it.
Yes.
Wow.
And delving in to the word cunt.
Yes.
Brought up a lot of things I didn't know.
Ooh, do.
Please, elaborate.
Share.
The very first one is because British, so I had to go to the Oxford English Dictionary first.
Of course.
So apparently, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, so please form all complaints directing to them, it was part of a place name in a town called Oxford in the UK called Grope Cunt Lane. Grope Cunt, all one word, Lane.
No.
And that was circa 1230 AD.
What?
They've changed it now, but the first time it was ever used in England was, and I think the world actually, it was a place name on an Oxford street, and the street was called Grope Cunt Lane.
That is the best tidbit in the world.
Like ever.
Grope Cunt Lane.
Oh. My flabbers are gassy right now with that one.
I did not find that in my research.
Either.
When the word cunt then started to become more derogatory, the road was changed to Grove Passage.
That's boring.
So I know. I mean, we became very British apparently after 1230. So yeah, because it was used as a term of abuse, anything that was using that word was wiped from existence.
Oh my God! You know what that would be like nowadays? You know how, have you ever seen how people will go on vacation and go in front of statues that are like big-breasted women, and their breasts are all like worn away because people touch them all the time?
Oh yeah.
People would totally nowadays be taking pictures in front of Grope Cunt Lane and like being like, oh.
In my childhood, we would have just stolen the sign.
Yes.
And put it in our dorm room in college.
So fun.
Because I had, let's see, what did I steal when I was in college? I had Lover's Lane. I had my last name, Street. Yes.
That's awesome. And you didn't go to jail. Good job.
Yeah.
I did not. Nope. Wow, so I would totally grab Cunt Grope or Grope Cunt?
Rude.
Grope Cunt.
Either one.
Lane. I mean, to be fair, both those words correctly placed as well.
Yes.
You know, with consent, it should have just consensual Grope Cunt.
Consensual Grope Cunt Lane.
EDC.
I might petition my local council to include that in the next
That
new
is
build.
fascinating. Okay.
Wow. I know, because it wasn't classed as vulgar until the Middle Ages. So kind of during the 17th century, I think, and it was omitted from dictionaries from the late 18th century until the 1960s.
Till
in
the
UK.
60s.
Because it was used, my research showed me that it was used as a term for female genitals back in the day, before it turned vulgar, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Was not considered vulgar then. Just a descriptive term. And it was in medical texts.
I didn't know it was
like,
in medical texts.
Yeah, like dictionaries and
What?
stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. It was just, like Smudge just said, it took on negative connotations in the Middle Ages.
Religion?
And why do you think that is?
Men, manly men.
To the rise of patriarchal societies and the association of female sexuality with sin. So yes, religion and men.
I remember the very first time I ever read the word cunt anywhere was in a book called The Other Boleyn Girl. It was just a really like popular book way back when I was in like late middle school. And there's a line where she said, one of the sisters says to the other sister, "Hey, you have to go wash your cunny because the king wants it clean." And I was like, what the fuck is a cunny? And so then you kept reading and it said, yeah, make sure you wash your cunt really good. And I was like, what the fuck did I just
How old were you when you read it? Can you remember?
Yeah, I think I was later middle school, and I was very sheltered.
God.
You know, I went to Catholic school up until high school. So I think I was probably 12.
You must have been like, what?
I didn't know what to do. And I had, starting in 5th grade, I was sneaking romance novels. They did not say that word in any of the romance novels I read. It was always, different words you don't want to say that they use folds.
Wow. You must have felt like you did something wrong. Like, I'm going to get in trouble because I'm reading a book that says cunt.
That's well, because I went and asked my mom about it. I was like, Mom, I've never heard this before. And she was like, it says that in there? I didn't notice that when I read it, because she's the one that told me I would like the book.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
She knew her daughter well.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so she was just like, oh yeah, people don't use that word, which was true over here. Way back, especially. You just didn't. And so that was my very first time I'd ever heard that word used.
I remember the first time I heard it. I didn't hear it hardly at all in my teens. Well, I don't think I ever heard it in my teens, really. Only in my sort of maybe late teens, early 20s was I started to hear it. It really was a banned word. I would never have said it in front of my parents. Never. Ever. I know it feels and probably sounds like I've used it and it was my first word after coming out of the vagina. But it definitely wasn't. The first time I heard it was the vagina monologues.
Yes.
Oh yes, Reclaiming Cunt.
And Reclaiming Cunt. That was it.
So good.
So that was like 1996. So what was I in 1996? I was 16 in 89. So
and that's the first time you heard it.
Early 20s. 21.
Oh, see, I thought it was just part of the vernacular over there. So it was like kids used it growing up.
That's what I thought.
No.
Huh.
No, not at all. No. I think there was a big outrage. Somebody mentioned it on TV. Do you know David Frost?
Yeah.
He did the Frost report. He did Frost Nixon. He did the Nixon interview. Yeah, so David Frost. So he had a guest on. I can't remember what his name was, like Felix something. And it was like in the 70s.
Maybe it was Felix Rope Cunt.
I was going to say Felix the Cunt instead of Felix the Cat.
And I'm picturing a cartoon now.
But that was like there was. I just remember. Obviously, I wasn't born in 1970. I'm not that old, but I remember it being a thing and people mentioning it for on and off throughout my life. But yeah, and then I think comedically. I know there were comedians that said
for like the shock value.
But back then, comedians weren't on TV, so you only heard it on the grapevine if somebody went to a comedy club and said, "Oh my God, they said the word cunt."
Yep.
And I think there was Dudley, Pete and Dud.
Dudley Moore, yep.
But they did Pete and Dud, and one of their skits that you could only get on cassette tape. So you bought the cassette tape of comedy skits.
Oh wow!
And Pete and Dud did the cunt word, and they said it 31 times. I had to look this up because I knew they said it a lot.
It's a lot of cunts.
I looked it up. They repeated it 31 times in the course of 2 minutes. The sketch was called "This Bloke Came Up to Me." They said it 31 times in 2 minutes. And it was it apparently became this massive thing. You know when you like porn and kids used to like
steal,
nick one of their dad's porn and it used to go around or porn mag. it was like that. It went on the underground.
Wow.
And everybody was asking to borrow the tape to listen to this 2 minutes.
The tape worn out and just like broke eventually.
You have to use the pencil to rewind it. Remember, you used to have to stick the pencil in the little hole to rewind it into the little cunt.
Totally. Wow. No, I had not heard of that comedy skit either. Wow.
Wow. That's Kazza. Do you remember when you kind of first heard it?
I have no idea. I mean, Jesus. I don't know if it was the vagina monologues.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I hadn't known of it, but I didn't like hear it.
I was going to say, did you know of the word but know to avoid it?
Exactly, yes. So I knew that it was a very bad word not to be said. So when I went to see the vagina monologues and she was like, reclaiming cunt, I was like...
Smudgy, this is why I was interested when you said you hadn't like been saying it forever, is because I haven't waitressed in about 10 years, but I waited on a family from the UK about 10 years ago, and they could not get over that we over here in the US say the word fanny and it doesn't mean vagina like it does over there. And then they were like, how do you feel about the word cunt? And they just came out and said this. So 10 years ago, still, I was like, thinking it was, I was like, they're going to get kicked out of here. You know, going to get kicked out of the British beer company that they're in. And, and that's really where we were too. And so one of the women was just like, do you say cunt over here? And I was like, I'm not even going to say it back to you. I'm like, we don't say that over here. And she just couldn't believe that it was just so taboo.
So taboo.
So taboo. I know. I felt so naughty at that table with them. Like, I was like, guys, I have a table who's talking about the C word.
Yeah, that's always what I would never say word.
It. Oh my God.
No, and it's like so comfortable. When I was visiting my family recently, we were on the table, we were all talking, and someone was talking about someone. I'm like, oh my God, she's such a cunt. And they were all like, look, and I was like, sorry. This is just what I say now. Sorry. It was a little bit of silence at the table.
I feel like I may have been influential in how easy it is for certain individuals to use that word. But when I was looking it up, I didn't realise that it was the feminists. I don't know whether it was the same in America, but definitely in the UK. The feminists were the first movement to try and remove the word from all use within the UK.
Oh, wow.
Because it was taken on by the patriarchy as a negative terminology for the female genitalia. And then, lovely lady who was a feminist and very much an activist, Germaine Greer. You might have heard.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's quite very famous in the UK. So she came on and she did this whole thing on an interview saying that she will only ever use the word cunt. She will never use the word vagina because vagina in the Latin for vagina is sword sheath. And she said that I will never refer to it as a vagina because that has the implication that the female body is just simply a receptacle for a male weapon.
Oh my God.
So she said, I will never, ever, ever call it a vagina. And I don't think she has. She's only ever called it a cunt or, probably other terminologies as well, but never a vagina.
Wow.
But you can understand why the feminists, and women wanted to reclaim. But it's like, queer, isn't it?
You reclaim it. Yeah.
So we reclaim the word cunt, and the more you use it, the less it can be. And now, I don't think nobody that I know, definitely, and probably a lot more outside my circle, would ever even feel judged if somebody called them a cunt. It doesn't have. If somebody called me a bitch, I'd probably be more offended than if somebody called me a cunt.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. If somebody called me a cunt, I'd be like,
yeah,
thank
I would
you.
just laugh it off. It would just,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, but I think there's a lot of people, at least here in the States, who would still be like that. It's the worst word you could ever call somebody. But I agree. For me, like bitch is worse. Although I don't even mind bitch actually, because it's like,
yeah.
Listen, if you can't take me at 100, then I'm gonna be a bitch to you. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
I read, because I didn't know, that it was Germanic. So it came from a very German-based, I think it was spelt with a K, cUn't. cUn't or cUn't. And that's where
I did see that.
The word cUn't came from.
cUnton or something. It was like cUnton. Yeah. And then, so I have Old English cUnte.
Yep, I have that.
Proto-Germanic kuntan and Old Norse kunta.
Yeah.
Trace back even further to the Proto-Indo-European gwen, which is also the source for words like queen or gynecology.
Gynecology. That's so random.
Right? Gwen, gynecology. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. All these words. Like when you start to look into it, I'm like, it's fascinating history.
It's so, what's it called? Etymology?
Etymology. Yeah. The etymology of words is like fascinating.
Yeah. But it you know, the things like the term "see you next Tuesday," so that you don't have to say it. There's, like you said, the C word.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
I mean, the C word for me, that I remember growing up, and there was a TV show called The L Word.
Oh yeah.
It was all about lesbians.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Because apparently the word
So good.
lesbian wasn't acceptable. So they did the L word. And I don't know whether the C word then just carried on from that type of feeling that you can't say the word.
Yeah.
So if you can't say it, we'll just, you know, the M word or the N word or
Yeah.
the C word.
Yeah, I mean, it's from when I was little, it was always called the C word. Like little. And like, yeah. So long before the L word, I think the L word probably came as a result of the C word versus the opposite.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Because it was always the C word growing up, and then the L word came out, and it was like, oh, I get it, a play on the C word.
Yeah, well, because I can remember even people would flip out if you said, like, she called me the C word. No, they said, you're being a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it was still like,
But
it was still like,
yeah.
you called me it. Like, it still was, because you're saying it without actually saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew a guy who had it tattooed on his forehead.
No, sir.
Wait, really?
Yeah, yeah.
He had the word cunt on
Did
his
he lose a
forehead.
bet?
It was like, no, he didn't lose a bet. He was weird.
He was just a cunt?
Anyway, like he was a cunt. Is what
I'm
he
like, did he
was.
just love cunts, or was he a cunt, or
Right.
well, maybe both?
He was a cunt.
Oh, he was a cunt.
He was a football hooligan. He was one of those types of things, and he just had cunt tattooed on his forehead, and I was like, kind of matched. It was fine. It just seemed
That
natural
tracks.
for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the only other really odd piece of information that I found out, mostly from the UK, this is, by the way, considering I think we now own that word, is in 1975 there was a colouring book in the UK called the cUn't colouring book. Honestly, I shit you not.
What? What?
See, people think we're prudish over here.
You are in so many ways.
I know.
It's just this one word. It's really
This is
the
one
only
word.
claim to fame you have
Yes.
of having any kind of edge.
Yeah, we sit here, we wear tweed, we drink cups of tea while colouring in cUn't.
You apologize for existing while coloring in cunt. Wow, a coloring bug.
What?
I know.
Right?
I don't know if the book was just called, you know, the cUn't colouring book, or whether they were actually pictures of cunts to colour.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Just all different
I
ones.
don't know.
I love that
Yeah.
so much. I hope that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Now I need to
I mean, now it would just be a colouring book with, you know, people like Trump and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate and, you know, all those cunts.
Cunt coloring book. There it is.
Found it.
First published in 1975 by lesbian activist and artist T. Corinne.
T. Corinne.
The Cunt coloring book was created as a resource for sex ed.
Oh, so it was cunts.
For sex ed?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, fascinating
Shakespeare
shit.
used it.
I do remember, so I saw the Vagina Monologues live with Eve Ensler, the woman who wrote it. Yep.
So cool.
And I can remember, like, it was like kind of controversial to even go, not even knowing cunt was in it. It was just the fact that we were going to see a bunch of different women read either essays or poems or whatever they wrote about the vagina.
Yeah.
And some were hysterically funny. Some were unbelievably traumatic, you know, women sharing about genital mutilation, and some were really empowering, like the Reclaiming Cunt one. And I can remember in the theater that not only did the person come out, like the person who came out to recite the Reclaiming Cunt one was kind of like silly and bumbly, and she like comes out and she's like, I'm going to be talking, almost like she was drunk, I'm going to be talking about reclaiming cunt. By the end of her sharing, she had the whole theater chanting, cunt, cunt, cunt. And
That's
you can tell at first
amazing.
people were like, cunt, cunt, cunt. And then like as your neighbor did it and their neighbor, and we were all like, cunt. And we were all like, everyone was like beat red as we're like chanting cunt. But it was like, by the end of it, we were like, fuck yeah. It was very empowering.
Oh, I bet that was really powerful.
It was.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm in like this beautiful old theater where like, Broadway musicals come and stuff. And there's like, I don't know, maybe 8,000 women chanting cunt.
Wow. I love that. I love like the reclaiming part of it. Like, have you noticed that the younger generations now, like the Gen Zers and everything, like if you're on social media, like we've been talking about how versatile this is, they'll be like, oh my God, girl, I love your outfit. You're serving cunt.
Yes.
You know?
I've
oh
heard
my God,
that. I love
Smudge's
it.
face, if you could see her face, just got her jaw just dropped into happiness. It's like if somebody said that to me 10 years ago, I'd be like, the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
Like the fuck. If somebody ever said that to me now, I'd be like, can I hug you? Like that?
Yeah.
Thank
like,
you.
This is giving cunt. People say like, this is giving cunt. This is serving cunt.
Yeah.
I know. I fucking love it. I know, Smudge, you're so excited.
I genuinely am very proud when people say to me, I've never used that word until I met you, Smudge.
Yeah.
I'd never felt confident to use that word. I'd never found it sexy. I know when I first joined Quinn, the first tags that I looked for in the search bar was cunt.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because I wanted to hear it. Because it's my word.
Yeah. For me, it went from like shocking, terrible, horrible to yes, absolutely, with your influence, to like comfortable, funny, that kind of stuff. And then in some Quinn audios, I was like, oh my God, it's so hot when VAs use it.
Yeah. I never would have even thought to look for that tag 18 months ever. It never, okay, granted, I didn't even know what breeding was 18 months ago, but it never would have crossed my mind. But it's funny, I found a video on my phone the other day, and it was just like a little video I had taken of myself, and it was the first time I listened to Quinn audio that had cunt in it. And in the video, I'm like, do I like this? I'm saying this out loud. I forget who I was sending it to, but I'm saying it out loud. I was like, do I like this? I think I like this.
Yeah.
Like, I think, and it did. It felt a little like extra naughty at the time. So I'm like, I've never heard it used in a positive way about a woman's body or about someone's body. And then you get that little tingle.
Right?
Like, actually, this feels good.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you find any other interesting tidbits, Jules?
So, because it's me, only thing mostly everything else you guys said too, but I found some things so when it comes to movies, have you ever seen a movie or say movies where it's used like in a positive way?
I
Not that I can
don't
think of.
think so. I think it's quite rare that it's used, but yeah, I can't think
It's
of
super rare. And so I was trying to do, I do my movie, film stuff and TV shows. So I was trying to find out like the first time it was used like in a sexy, there's literally nothing. There's nothing. People just aren't using it unless still, I'm not sure what the MPAA, like those are for ratings with that word, but it's really still just used in like insults and things, not in a sexy way, or not even like you're serving cunt. Like it hasn't really got to that part yet. But I guess one of the most controversial things was when the movie Gone Girl came out. Do you remember that movie Gone Girl?
Oh yeah,
fucking incredible. The book too.
It's a great movie.
Gotta say Ben Affleck rocks that movie too. But he uses it as an insult to her in that movie, and it's part of the movie. He got such backlash from people from when it came out that like he had trouble getting jobs for a little bit because of such severe backlash of his character using that word to
saying
insult
a
scripted fucking scene. Right? I'm not surprised by this, but
people need to relax.
People need to relax. Smudge, I do have a question because I did look some of this stuff up. Over there, if it's used as an insult, is it mostly to women or is it men too?
I think it's quite a healthy mix of both. Now, I think it very much was derogatory towards women of, a certain ilk, as they would call it, women of the night thing, you don't want to go anywhere near that cunt.
Like filthy, dirty.
Yes.
Yeah. But then men were using it for each other, but only because it wasn't a derogatory term for a man. It was just because it was a derogatory term.
I don't know. I like that. Not only is it being reclaimed, it's just the normalization of it now. Like, that's what I like the most about it. Like, us three, we will say good morning, cunts, to each other and use it in like a, like it just becomes, just natural. And I feel like that starts taking away the stigma.
It's like when we did slut, right? Like when you reclaim the word slut, like the more you say it, the less it can be thrown to you as an insult.
I genuinely think the word cunt is powerful, and the power can be used for good and evil, and I choose to use it as good. But in dominant scenes, my dominant use it as evil. So, it's multi-versatile.
Although it's evil, but still for your good, because you enjoyed it.
For my good, yeah. But even as much as I use it a lot, it still doesn't take away the effect that I use it for as part of my sexual desires.
Oh, you bunch of cunts.
Fucking cunts.
Oh, you're such a you're my favourite.
We're all serving cunt. Ugh, I feel like I can't say that. I feel like I'm like not.
Can I say my cunt is on fleek?
Sure, you can.
I genuinely don't know what I just said. I know on fleek for eyebrows, but I just thought it would probably look
on
good.
fleek.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Cunt is on fleek. Oh man. Oh, you slutty fucking cunts. See that? I just did all the dirty dictionary words together.
Look at that.
You did. And I genuinely, if we were naming this episode, I would call it Our Cunts.
I literally was thinking our C was on fleek. I literally was. I was like, oh, I have a name.
No.
But so we've covered cunt at last.
Covered the cunt.
Was it everything you hoped it would be, Smudge? Are you satisfied?
Is your cunt satisfied?
But I am very happy in the cunt department.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Woohoo!
All right.
Boom.
There we go.
Cunt power.
All right, Clitisons, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Cuntcast. I mean, Quincast. We're a little silly today. We appreciate your ears and your cunts.
Yeah, we do. Always you cunt.
Oh my God. No, we appreciate your time so much for indulging us in our little silly episodes. But we hope you learned something. I mean, there was some interesting facts about cunts and movies and peaches. So, let us know what you think. Comments, emails, ratings, all the things. Tell your friends. We'll be back again with another episode. Next up will be a Hit the Spotlight. It'll be a surprise who it is.
Even you don't know.
I'm like to all of us. we have to decide on the schedule. Go into our vault. But thanks. So we'll be back soon with another great episode. For now, this has been Kaza. Your voice matters.
This has been Jules. Go put those lips to good use.
And this has been Smudge. Keep wanking.